Hello, grade 4s, and welcome to another great math lesson. Today, we'll be looking at the geometric measurements. At the end of this lesson, you'll be understanding the concepts of angles and how to measure angles. So first of all, what are the general shapes you get in geometry? This is a little point. This point can be anywhere in space. So this point is an exact location in space. When we look at this line, a straight path that moves in an opposite direction is called a line. Note that this line has two little arrows on either side. We can call them A and B. This shows that the line goes on and on and on in the opposite directions forever and ever. So when we name this line, we name this line AB. Look at that little line on top of AB. It has little arrows to show that this is a line. A line segment looks exactly or almost exactly like a line, except it has two little dots on the either side and not arrows, which suggests it stops at a certain point. We can call this line segment AB. A part of a line that does not go on forever is called a line segment. So when we name this line segment, we say it's line segment AB. Please note there is no arrows on the top of that line. When we look at this line, it has an arrow and a little dot, which means it's a ray. So it starts at one point and carries on in the other direction forever. So we call this ray PQ. A part of a line that has one end and goes in another direction forever is called a ray. When we name this ray, we name it ray PQ. Note that there is only one arrow on the one side of the line. When we look at this angle, we see there's a little square there, which means it is a right angle. We call this right angle A, B, and C. A right angle is an angle that forms a perfect square, and the angle is equal to 90 degrees. When the angle does not have that little square, it means that it is not a right angle. It's either smaller or bigger than 90 degrees. When we name this right angle, we say that angle ABC is equal to 90 degrees. If the angle is smaller than 90 degrees, like dictated here, we call it angle DEF, and it is an acute angle. So an acute angle is any angle that it forms an angle smaller than 90 degrees. When we name this angle, we name it angle DEF is smaller than 90 degrees. If the angle is a little bit bigger than 90 degrees, like dictated here, we can say this is an obtuse angle. We name this obtuse angle GHJ. An obtuse angle is greater than 90 degrees, but smaller than a straight line, that is 180 degrees. When we name this obtuse angle, we say that the angle GHJ is bigger than 90 degrees, and the angle GHJ is smaller than 180 degrees. Let's look at this line. This is a straight angle. A straight angle we can call JKL. A straight angle is an angle that forms a straight line and has a measurement of 180 degrees. When we name this straight angle, we name it angle JKL is equal to 180 degrees. So how do you measure angles? Like in science, using tools, we too have in maths something called a protractor. This protractor is a full circle, and we can see that it measures 360 degrees, but we'll be only using a half a protractor. So let's look at this short video to help us better understand how to use the protractor.
You can use a protractor to measure angles. This full circle protractor is 360 degrees. A standard protractor is half a circle. There are two sets of numbers. The red counts one direction and the blue counts the other. So it is 180 degrees. There are 90 degrees in a square corner and 45 degrees in half a square corner. Let's take a look at this angle. We can use a protractor to measure this angle. First, put the vertex on the center. We're trying to find out how many degrees fall between the two arms of the angle, which we do by finding the difference. We can find the correct measurement of the angle as long as we use the numbers of the same color. One arm of the angle points at the 0 on the right, which is blue, so we can look at the blue number starting at 0. The other arm of the angle points at the blue 40. To find how many degrees are between the arms, let's find the difference. 40 minus 0 is equal to 40. This angle is 40 degrees. 40 degrees makes sense since this angle is acute, or less than 90 degrees. The other number this arm is pointing to is 140. 140 degrees would not make sense since this angle is acute. Let's look at another angle. One arm of the angle points at the 0 on the left, so we can look at the red numbers starting at 0. The other arm of the angle points at 120. To find how many degrees are between the arms, let's find the difference. 120 minus 0 is equal to 120. This angle is 120 degrees. 120 degrees makes sense since this angle is obtuse, or greater than 90 degrees. The other number this arm is pointing to is 60 degrees. 60 degrees would not make sense since this angle is obtuse. Sometimes neither arm points to 0. For example, look at this angle. Both numbers we look at need to be the same color. Let's look at the blue set. One arrow points to 50 degrees and the other points at 130. Because neither arm of the angle points to 0, we can do 130 minus 50, which is equal to 80. It is 80 degrees from one end of the angle to the other. We can use the red numbers to see if we get the same measurement. One arm points to 130 and the other points to 50. We can subtract to find the difference. 130 minus 50 is equal to 80. It is still 80 degrees from one end of the angle to the other. We can find the correct measurement of the angle as long as we use the numbers of the same color. In this lesson, you learned to measure angles using a protractor. Thanks for watching.
So now that you know how to use a protractor, you can go out and keep on measuring. So keep on measuring angles to become a genius. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.